Welcome to Behind the Mic, a podcast by District 121 of Toastmasters International. I'm your host Lavanya Manjunath, and my mama says I talk a lot. So I took it seriously and decided to make something useful out of it. Here am I with this podcast, along with my friend Shivani, who is also co-producing this show. In every episode, we have a new individual sharing their unique story on overcoming struggles and accomplishing tough achievements. We aim to go deeper and understand what it truly takes for people to shrug off the veil of the ordinary and become truly remarkable leaders and personalities of today's age. We aim to highlight all those extraordinary people that we see in our day-to-day lives. So kick back in your seat, turn up the volume, and listen to Behind the Mic, the podcast. Hello, listeners. We are back again with one more interesting episode for you. And we have an amazing personality who is a motivator, a distinguished Toastmaster from Mysore Toastmaster Club, and a counselor, and a woman who just charms her with her amazing smile. So let's welcome Toastmaster Kavitha M Prakash. Welcome, Kavitha, for our Behind the Mic, the podcast.
Thank you so much, Lavanya. It's a pleasure meeting you, and I'm impressed by your presence today.
That's really amazing, Kavitha. I'm also impressed the way you told the way you just present yourself by your simplicity, and it always intrigued me. There is something behind the Kavitha that we all see, that smiling face, who is like calm and composed. But we have to know more about Kavitha, and today we are in this episode to know more about Kavitha, just not being a Toastmaster, but who Kavitha really is. So, Kavitha, without much ado, let's start this episode. And we all know there is one golden question all the HR ask in their interviews. Tell me about yourself. So, I'll not tell me about yourself, but Kavitha, let's know what Kavitha is from Kavitha herself. Who
Oh,
is you?
okay. Perfect. So, Kavitha is an open book, and
Wow.
you can read straight from it.
Mhm.
Uh, the black lines on the white give you a lot of information and a lot of warmth. No
Hmm.
need to read between the lines. It's straight and simple.
Don't
Uh,
don't don't read in between the lines. All right, all right.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, my journey started as a homemaker, and I am from a slightly old era, I should say.
Oh, why?
Because
Yes.
when I passed out of college, my grandparents said, "Why should you work? You should just get married and settle down."
Okay.
I know for your era, this doesn't seem like an agenda at all. And I
Yeah.
said, "Okay, yeah, but I want to do something, if not at least work. Let me join the army." They said, "No, no, you're the first daughter, and there are 7 girls in the family, and I don't think you should be joining the army, and you will become very dark. And who will marry
Okay.
you?" I had
Interesting.
laughed within, but outside I cried and rebelled and said, "It's okay, I will marry, but then I must do something. So at least let me do my masters." And
Hmm.
so they had to say yes because it was an distance program. So I joined and joined for my master's program in English, and then I had a child and did my second year of postgraduate program. And it was very much conventional in my family. We are from a business family. It's very much
Hmm.
conventional in our family to marry off their girls to a family which has an established business and a very huge extended family. So,
Wow.
so
All
if
right.
you can guess the number of people of the home that I was married into, you will get $1 million.
Okay, let me guess. Let me guess. 23, 25?
Arre, how did you bang on get that number? You must have heard
Oh,
me
did I?
somewhere.
Okay. Oh wow, good guess.
Uh,
I'm
yeah.
interested. It's interesting story. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So it was a university of learning, interacting with all those new people when I got married off, and
True.
I came in as a new bride. It was a very well close knit family, very welcoming and compassionate. And they also appreciated that I wrote poetry and I spoke and I was very confident. And I was the first graduate Bahu in the family. And it was a very impressive profile, but it was not like they were hiring me, but I had to work in the kitchen factory from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. So
Wow.
that was the thing. And it used to run like a factory, literally in shifts. The only thing was there was no gap between the shifts. So that's how my homemaker's life was, and it went on like that for about 12 years. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Uh, it was quite hectic, much more
Mhm.
hectic than a software engineer's job, I should say.
It
And
is. People just
so
sabotage
while
every homemakers, but the reality is far beyond their imagination.
absolutely, absolutely. Uh,
Yes.
but the love and the warmth kept me going. Somehow I always felt there was something else that I had to do, and especially because I was a very vibrant person during school and college. I used to take part in almost every contest, name it, and my name would be there, whether I could do it or not. So
Wow.
that was me then, and it was great. Mm, well, after some time, I began to feel a lot of vacuum. That there was something that you want to do, but
Right.
you don't know what it is.
Right.
Probably an identity crisis or an existential crisis. People get it later in midlife. I got it almost at 25, a little too early. And so I started seeking spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I went for a lot of spiritual retreats, and that actually
Mm-hmm.
helped me to find my balance
All
and
right.
helped me to uh, what I call lead the Bhagavad Gita way of life. So, in fact, that is my agenda and mission for my entire life, which I'm currently
Mm-hmm.
pursuing.
All right.
Um, so that was it. And then after I finished my master's, it was still a lull. I had a child, and it was fun how I finished my master's. So I would start studying after 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
till to p.m. and then get ready for the next day's morning grind. So it was a challenge
Wow.
that I wanted to accomplish. And in between, I also had a child. So I would also have my child beside me and study for my master's exam. And it was challenging, but still, I am very proud that I did it. I took it up as a challenge. And
That's right.
so,
That's right.
yeah.
So after the masters, what was in the store for you? When you did you get that answer for your identity crisis, like who Kavitha actually was?
Yes, it took me about 2 years of searching everywhere outside. Uh, like then I realized, yes, it is within you and you have to take charge of your life. And the moment I realized it, I just said, okay, so let me start with what I have. And so
Okay.
by then my son was about 5 years old, and I felt
Mm-hmm.
I should be giving him a lot of culture inputs and, giving values and all that. So
All
I
right.
always used to tell him a lot of stories, even from a very young age. So now it just expanded, and my family already had about 10 children ready made for me. And we were all
Whoa.
four huge families living in one compound. And so I gathered all
Wow.
those children and brought them together, started teaching them shlokas, bhajans, and
Mm-hmm.
Bhagavad Gita, and all that. And that was my food for soul, for the soul. And that's how I progressed actually. And I knew, well, I'm doing something that I love, being with children and engaging them positively. And so I made a couple of contacts. When you go to school, you find moms and then a lot of acquaintances, and you develop a big network, right? So till then, I hadn't had much of a network in Mysore. And so that's when I started making friends and expanding my horizon. And I also connected with the Chinmaya Mission, what do you call it, center in Mysore. That was something which I had been associated with right from my childhood. So I went in search of the center in Mysore and I joined there. And immediately they said, why don't you take charge of the Balavihar group? So I developed the Balavihar in Mysore, and for about 10 years, I ran about 10 Balavihars across different localities in Mysore. I used to visit different homes and different places every week, and would engage the children for about 1.5 hours. That was really a great journey for me, because children are the purest form of the creator. And they would jump to my tunes, and I felt on top of the world because I felt totally in charge. Well, of course, it was a lot of insightful interactions with children as well. So that's what mattered, actually. And I used to make them do dramas and role plays and have a lot of fun activities and all that. And in fact, recently I was at a theater, a multiplex, and suddenly a tall boy came running to me and said, Kavitha ma'am, how are you? I was in your Bal Vihar. You taught me this, you taught me that. And, he was so happy, reminiscing all that. And that has happened many times over to me. And I think that was the purpose of my life. So all this went on, Lavanya, for quite some time. And later, with the friends that I made, we set up an NPO called Infinite Scope. Like-minded friends, and we adopted a school in a village, and we used to visit there every fortnight, and we would teach those children and all sorts of things. Okay. And we would become as naughty as those little boys and girls of the government school.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun again. And so because of our work over there, we also got calls from different schools to engage their children in life skills programs. And so we covered almost about 10 schools that year. We were about 5 of us, and all very highly motivated women. We also had children, and so we would finish everything between the time our children went to school and came back. And so that was another wonderful phase. I found my angels, people who helped me rediscover my potential and helped me let loose everything that I wanted to.
And since then you're flying with, colorful wings that you have.
Absolutely. That was the foundation. Thanks to all those angels.
Right. So for people who don't know about Chinmaya Mission, would you like to shed some light on it for us?
Sure. It's a spiritual organization set by Swami Chinmayananda. He was a staunch misconformist, non-conformist. He never believed in God and all that. He was almost an atheist. He challenged every single spiritual, gospel. And he just didn't challenge it for the sake of challenging it, but he wanted to validate it himself. So he went in search of what these things are, and he met Swami Shivananda and all of them at Rishikesh. And then he went into an in-depth journey, and he came out preaching the Bhagavad Gita to people and establishing this worldwide organization called Chinmaya Mission. And there are
the person who didn't believe started believing it. That's the power of Bhagavad Gita, I would say.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So in Chinmaya Mission, they conduct yagnas. So for a week, it is a 2 hours lecture or a discourse on different chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. There are 18,
All right.
and
All right.
each is mm, whole world of its own. Each of the chapter talks about something. These are messages for life. So
All right.
yeah, and through Chinmay Mission, I also got a lot of more openings. I represented our center at the International
Mm-hmm.
Balvihar Sevikas Conference, and
Wow.
I met Balvihar Sevikas from across the world, and
Wow.
that
That's
was
wonderful.
really, really amazing.
Right.
And not only that, I met some stalwarts in the Chinmay Mission, and I also
Mm-hmm.
worked for the Golden Jubilee Convention, which was held in Mumbai. It was a huge event, about 10,000 people coming together for a whole week. So that was also another beautiful experience.
All
And I've
right.
also attended some retreats at Siddhabari. It is very close to Shimla. And that
Mm-hmm.
is where Chinmayananda was laid to rest.
All right.
Uh,
All right.
yeah. So these were
Yeah.
some of the beautiful memories from my mission life.
Yes. I mean, when you are with kids, there is no limits for the memories, right? That's the best part of kids. I know some people do hate kids because they throw tantrums and all that, but deep down there is so much that we can learn from being a kid or being a child. So here's my question: that is, what is that you still carry with you, those children qualities with you across your journey with them?
Oh, I can talk without shame, without any inhibitions, and I I can get up and dance any moment.
That's great. Can I play the song now? No, but I have seen you. You're that impromptu. People who have seen Kavitha, who know her, she's very much impromptu, and a very childlike smile that she has, which is very much guileless. And trust me, I know the secret sauce of where you get that smile.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Right.
Well,
Right.
all this became a
Yeah.
foundation for me because later I did have a lot of struggle, and
Mm-hmm.
this is the soul strength that helped me to cope up with all that, and that is why this becomes very important in my life.
Wow. So would you like to talk about that struggle quite brief for us, so that it
Uh,
becomes a transitional period for you, right? So let's know
Absolutely,
what transcended you. Yeah.
sure, sure. Uh, okay, so um, okay. While I was doing all these things, I got an
Mm-hmm.
invitation from someone associated with Infosys Mysore
Okay.
in the Chinmaya Mission community. So she said,
Okay.
you enjoy being on stage and you love interacting with people. And the new development center set up at Mysore, a very beautiful, large one, about 300 acres.
Mm-hmm.
So they are, setting up the learning and development segment, and we are looking for soft skills trainers. We need someone with good language and actually possess good soft skills. I
Mm.
see all that in you. Why don't you come and join us? So I got a job without attending an interview.
Wow. Wow, this is a blessing, Kavitha. Yes, tell us more about it.
And
Yes.
yeah, so I asked my father-in-law. Actually, till then I used to be asking for permission, but then I thought, no, I
Okay.
should inform. I shouldn't be asking for permission. So I knew I had evolved
Wow.
a little. So I said, I am going, and this is Infosys. And they already heard about Sudha Murthy and Narayan Murthy, and they said, okay. That made my path easier. So I joined as a freelance consultant there, and
Okay.
that was also an amazing journey because I went and I sat through a lot of sessions, and I always thought, okay, all this is already there in the Bhagavad Gita. It's just that they don't use that language and terminology. They use their own terminology, which is the corporate lingo. And they said, yes, what's there in the world that's not there in the Gita? And this was from one of my international trainers. So I was mighty impressed. I said, I am definitely going to continue in this job. And there's no looking back. It's been 15 years since I'm associated with that company. And since I'm a freelancer, I could work anywhere else with any other vendor. So right now, I'm also working a lot with Accenture Learning and Development. In fact, during this lockdown, I stepped up my game and I got empaneled in the Global Coaching University of Accenture, which is the Mecca of corporate training.
Wow.
And yeah, it was amazing because I worked with people from different time zones and vice presidents, all the top elite echelons of Accenture. It was an amazing job. So this was quite a long project for about 6 months. And meanwhile, I got a lot of great networking as well there. So I think I utilized whatever was offered to me to the best of my ability.
Right. Right. So when we talk about corporate training, even though most of the people will be on the other side of getting the training done, could you like to shed some light about what happens with the corporate trainer, and if someone wants to pursue their profession as a corporate trainer, how they can go ahead with that?
Okay, so in fact, there is no university or anything, but however, there are some institutions offering, a course. ISTD is one, the Indian Society for Training and Development. It is set up by the, HR, National HR Council. And so it's a national body. And they offer a diploma course for 2 years. You can do that. In fact, for the Mysore chapter, I am a empaneled trainer there. I'm a faculty also over there.
Okay.
ISTD Mysore. And this is one of the established courses. And of course, there are a lot of them. All these big trainers, they also train people. They train the trainer programs, and you can enroll for any of them. However, I was already certified by Infosys at the international level, and so I did not actually do any other programs. My Infosys certificate was good enough to carry me through anywhere that I had to offer.
All right. So there is no particular. Yeah, go ahead.
There is no particular avenue or anything, and you just have to start on it, develop your network, and join some vendors and try it out. And of late, many universities have made it mandatory to have those employability skills training, and that's where a lot of new trainers start off, and then they move to corporates. And corporate training is a whole different ball game altogether. You have to show an ROI, a return on investment.
Right.
So for that, you need a lot of experience and insights, which are real-time implemented.
That's completely right. So either you can pursue it as initially as a freelance that like you have done, or they can either get associated with one of the corporates and then they can do it. That's what we meant, right?
Definitely. Yes.
All right. So how was your 20+ experience in this corporate training has been for you? Let's know your up and downs, your best moments, and how it has evolved. I can see when you told your father-in-law that you're gonna go for that company and not ask for permission, that was the initial sign. So how it has developed you over the course of life?
Thank you so much. It's actually a mixed bag of my experiences. Let me tell you 3 things why I am still a trainer, a very passionate trainer. And in fact, I'm also one of the most popular trainers in many of the corporates. I always hit a 5-on-5 rating for every session that I take for them. And there are many corporates which want me back to train their employees as well. So these are all very fulfilling things. I'm very grateful for all this, that has happened to me. So I'll tell you three things why I am a trainer. Number one is when I was a little girl, like most of the children, I was very impressed by my nursery teacher, and I always wanted to become a teacher. Because I could write on the board and I could dress up with a beautiful sari and keep smiling and be loving to children. I was very impressed with all that. Later, when I came to high school, of course, I loved my teacher. But then I thought, oh my God, who's going to sit and correct notebooks every day in and out? This is not for me. And so I don't think I wanted to be a teacher in high school. And when I came to college, standing on the podium and addressing 150 students who are all very naughty and hostile, still was a very impressive option. Then I really wanted to become something of an orator. So that streak of speaking, kept me hooked on to this. And later, when I became a mother, I felt I had to connect with children and all that. And much later is when I actually got an opening in the corporate space. And when I stood there at Infosys at MG Auditorium, the very first day doing my session for about 1,000 employees in the huge auditorium, I felt very, very grateful. So,
Wow.
It's that common thread running through that. And
Right.
so now I'm a teacher, but I don't have to correct books. So that's one part of it. And I get paid for enjoying my work. So that's another tricky aspect. And the second reason why I'm a trainer is because it's a very, very personal thing. So my spouse has a bipolar mental condition.
Okay.
And he often goes into extremes of moods.
Extreme states, yeah.
Sometimes it's hyper anger, sometimes it's depression, sometimes it's the fun mood, and it's very, very unpredictable. So to be coping up with that is very, very challenging. And
Right.
I was in an extended family for 12 years, and later we moved out nuclear. It's been 17 years since we have moved out nuclear. And a lot of times I had to act as a single parent, because I was always a very involved parent.
Right.
But many times, I couldn't expect him to be available for the two of us. So these were the challenging times. But with the guidance from the Gita, I think I have coped it pretty well. There was also a phase when even I went into almost a breakdown, and I had to pull myself up from that.
Right.
And that's what made me also take up counseling and help people out there. So this, I always felt, I should always be of value to everyone around me, that they can cope up situations in life and not suffer through it. I don't want people to suffer. I want them to find out ways to go through their struggles. Struggles are going to be there, but we have to find out how we do it. So I qualified myself in the emotional intelligence quotient with an international certificate. And it was a very beautiful journey of going through that training. And I also got certified as an international counselor. And so it was because of my real life situations that I had to pursue a lot of things so that I can help myself first and help others out. So this personal reason is the second one. The third one is, of course, the smile that you see when people think there is a paradigm shift in their thinking. So I always call myself as a creative Kavitha or questioning Kavitha, and a whole lot of crazy.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I use that in my sessions. I make them think, walk, run, do all sorts of things during my sessions. And at the end of the session, they always say, it was worthwhile that we spent these 2 days or 5 days with you. And whatever be the topic or the subject matter that we are talking about, it still ends up being a very great transformative journey for most of the participants in my sessions. And I think this brought in a lot of fulfillment and continues to do so for me. And I think these three reasons are good enough to keep me alive and kicking.
True, true. The secret sauce for happiness in life is, like you said, a dream backed up with experiences of life, which gives you satisfaction. Simple mantra of life, And it's completely been true, especially in your case, Kavitha, when you said that, when the mental health is challenged, you have to get yourself up, and then you realize that it's the time for me to also give it back, and then you took it and leveraged yourself. So thanks a lot for helping, the society, and people who have been helped by you, they really appreciate whatever you're doing. And it's fantastic to see your journey. I mean, it has a lot of twists and turns and a lot of ups and downs. And really, I'm amazed with the fact that you grew up, you were in that family of 25. People find hard to be, with four people. That's really challenging. So just wanted to ask how this challenge has made you, like you said, you came out as a nuclear family altogether with your spouse. Was it difficult? Was it a very difficult, a decision to make by you and your partner?
Okay, so so my husband has 5 siblings, actually 7 siblings, and so we all had
Wow.
to move out at some point, right? And we all had to have our own homes, because that one home, we were all crammed up there, and
Okay.
there was a lot of adjustments that had to be made, and so we all bought our own homes and we moved out. It was not a difficult decision, but let me tell you one thing. When I moved out nuclear, for the first 1 month, I felt so lonely. I wanted to pull the hair out of my head because I didn't have anyone
Really?
to talk to.
Oh,
So
that's why
that's a
you
bit
decided I'll
punishment.
talk to others outside.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
coping
that was
mechanism.
absolutely great.
Right.
You already picked up my phrase, coping mechanisms.
Fantastic.
So,
So,
and
yeah,
yeah, so I obviously I didn't enjoy loneliness, but later I figured out that I enjoy solitude as much as I enjoy being among people. So that
right.
was the realization.
I think life is completely off, like it runs on balance. Like you need to have your own space also, and also you need to have people where you talk to, because that's really important to get things out of your system. Absolutely right. Yes. I heard about that you got an award for Exceptional Women of Excellence. Could you tell us what was this award about, and the behind story about it? Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So this was about 4 years ago. I am part of this community of women called All Ladies League, ALL, and
Mm-hmm.
they host an annual conference called the Women Economic Forum. It's a global conference,
All right.
and women entrepreneurs from across the world congregate in one place, and we have a lot of sessions. There are small room sessions, there are plenary sessions which have a very large audience, and I happened to attend two of those conferences, and actually um, that gave me an insight, or it actually gave me a shock as to how women really make it. I wouldn't call it making it big or success and all that. It's
Uh-huh.
just that how they surmount their boundaries and, you know, do whatever they really want to do without compromising on their, you know, womanly duties. I would call it's very important to
Right.
have that.
Right.
You shouldn't neglect your womanly duties, because I think we have a role to play in the family as a woman, as a mother. And
Yes.
that's what I saw over there, how all those women managed and all that. Um, so again, it was a global exposure. And there we had to pitch for the award. There were about 5 categories, a lot of them.
Mhm.
I pitched for the Exceptional Women of Excellence because I had already worked in this corporate training space for about 15 years
Right.
by then. And I had always, done a good job, and I had found a lot of fulfillment in this. And the topic for that day, it was a 5-day conference, and every day they would have a different topic. The day I was supposed to pitch, the topic was about shared values. So
Wow.
I actually, it was amazing. It was really soul searching for me. I had to sit for an hour and see how I could put things together
Mhm.
and actually make my pitch very, very impactful. Uh, and so I actually talked about what I observed right over there. There were women from Africa, America, Australia. And you know who made the biggest sales in that conference? A man from Kanchipuram down south who got about 1,000 saris, and he sold it there at the Taj Vivanta in Delhi.
Wow.
All
Interesting.
the women were, yeah, they were gung-ho about saris, and they managed it. They wore it on t-shirts, they wore it on pants, and Indian women were of great demand. We had to help them out to drape the saris for them, and I
Hmm.
enjoyed all those
What a
experiences.
fantastic
And
memory you have. Yeah.
yes, yes, definitely.
Yes.
And there were very great fun memories also. Uh,
Hmm.
and so on the stage, I was given about 5 minutes to talk about shared values. And so
Right.
I quoted from my observations from how everyone was so amazed with the sari, the Indian
Oh,
attire. I
wow.
felt it was so divine. And um, so it was a great moment. And
Mm-hmm.
it was not just that. I also shared an experience from one of my yoga batches. It was an international batch. In Mysore is the yoga hub. So I
Yes.
was also training a couple of international batches, and that had about
Mm-hmm.
20 women from across the world and about 5 or 6 males. Okay. So on their graduation day, I think it was a 1 month program. I was teaching them on how to be a good teacher, a yoga teacher. I was looking at the
Okay.
soft skills part of it. There was a specific yoga subject matter expert other than me. And so on the graduation day, I packed 2 huge suitcases of all my saris and accessories,
Okay.
including blouses and petticoats. I packed all that stuff I could have for all those women out there. And for one
Okay.
hour before the graduation ceremony, I draped all of them in some of
Wow.
the saris that I
So
had.
now you are expert in draping the saris.
Yes.
That's fantastic. That's a fantastic story that you have shared. Thank you, Kavita. Now, I just wanted to have one crucial question for you. Is it's been almost 10 plus years in corporate for you, and especially corporate training for you. And I hope you're also doing corporate trainings via Zoom in this pandemic, right?
Yes, yes, I
So
do.
tell me that major uh, thing that is lacking in corporates in terms of soft skills that they are pursuing in the pandemic era. What is that the major thing that the corporates are lacking behind?
Okay. uh, just like how you and I feel about the human connect. It's pretty much
Right,
the same with all the people. They are missing the
right,
human connect. Um,
true.
I mean, it's not so easy to connect with somebody whom you have not met before, especially for a beginner. Uh,
Totally.
and a lot of them actually come from small towns, and they have had absolutely no exposure, or some of them have come from professional colleges where they only focused on studies. It was nothing about
Right.
socializing for career development. They used to socialize and go to pubs and hangouts and all that. That's a different thing. But socializing for networking and career progress is something that they lack, and so that is where we pitch in and help them out.
Right. Especially we are also feeling we just wish Toastmaster meeting would be offline where we could really meet people, hug them, give shake hands, which was so important,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Yes. I hope that there is an end to this pandemic and we socialize sooner. And I hope to meet you soon someday. All right. And Kavitha, in this whole few couple of minutes, what I heard, one word was really prominent, and that was Mysore. So tell me about your own place. How is this so important in your life? It's
Okay, so if you want to spell Mysore, it is Heaven. Uh, yes, that's what it is. Not just because of the environment or the nature and the pristine surroundings
Hmm,
that we have, but also because of the people whom
right.
I have networked with. I think they're all amazing. And talking about Toastmasters in Mysore, it's been about 12 plus years of the Toastmasters
Mm-hmm.
movement in Mysore. It started
Mm-hmm.
at Infosys, Mysore. Back
Really?
then, I did not even know about Toastmasters.
Really? Okay.
Yes, it's only been 5 years since I joined the Toastmasters, and um, actually, being in Mysore, this was one platform which was my lung space, right? Just like how a city needs parks and lakes and all that to give that lung breathing space. Toastmasters is my lung space. That's why it's very close to my heart. And here we have strengthened the Toastmasters movement. We have 6 strong clubs
Mm-hmm.
here. And this is one platform where I long to meet people and network with them, simply because we have a rule that we have to learn to be non-judgmental. We practice being non-judgmental in Toastmasters, you know that, right? And
Yes,
we
yes.
always give constructive feedback to people and help
True,
them grow.
true.
Yeah. So, talking about Mysore, yes, it has given me angels, like I talked earlier, and now it has given me a lot of friends in the Toastmasters network. Currently, these are my best friends. These are the people who I hang out with anytime,
True,
any
true.
day. Not just day, we also hang out midnight. Mm, we used to.
Wow. Wow. You used to. Most hopefully it will be back again.
Yes, yes. Going to
Fantastic, Kavita.
Chamundi Hills late night and all that. It was fun. So that's what Mysore
Wow.
is
You
for
guys
me.
are having gala time, huh? We Bangaloreans are still not going anywhere.
No, no, now even we are not going, but we did.
Oh, the previous one. Okay. All right. I think you should have the Toastmaster meeting at Chamunda Hills sometime when you
We
guys
did
all meet.
actually. We did, we did.
Oh, really?
Uh, yeah, yeah. We had the annual conference in Mysore at Radisson Blue. So for the promotion event, we had a flash meeting at 5 different locations, landmark locations in Mysore.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's an
we
amazing
conducted
PR
one meeting
campaign.
across a whole day.
Wow, that's cool. A mind-blowing idea, whoever has come up with. Thanks a lot, Kavita, for giving a sneak peek into your life. It has been a wonderful journey. I know it has not been a very rosy or a vanilla journey. Yes, our all lives are same, but thanks a lot. You have inspired a lot of us, especially people like homemakers, to get out and listen to their calling for once. So thanks a lot for inspiring us, Kavita, and for your time. It was so wonderful speaking to you. And to all the listeners, here we have Kavitha Prakash, who is signing off from today's episode. And I'm your host, Lavanya Manjunath.
Please follow us on all the social platforms, and here we come up with great more episodes forward. So until then, toodles, and Kavitha, thanks a lot for today, for taking a time out today.
Thanks so much. It was wonderful talking to you, and I enjoyed every minute of interacting with you. Let's meet
Thank
personally.
you. Yes, let's meet personally. Right, right.
Thanks for tuning in for another amazing episode of our Behind the Mic. Please find us on all the social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Clubhouse by the name District 120. And follow us for more updates from the district and drop your reviews. Stay tuned for more stories because we believe that inspiration awaits you.